All good.
How does it get better? Okay, welcome everyone to the Miracles Call. This call is all about how to create beyond your mind and to create the miracles from the place of possibilities that are available to you. So there are so many people who I have never met before who are on this call. Thank you so much. And so if you don't know who I am, I thought I would share a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to get into this call and just really the idea behind this call was to just help you create in a way that you might have known how to do cognitively, but how do we get out of our minds and how do we create congruently and energetically and emotionally and physically in a way that actually creates results for us. So many times we as people understand something at a cognitive level, and then it's years later when we realize we actually had no idea. We thought we got it, but we didn't quite get it. So there's no other agenda for this call except to contribute to you, to get to know some people who I might not know already, and to see how I can help you create this decade in a way that's different to anything you've done before. So my name is Dr. Adela Afees, and I'm from New Zealand, and 10 years ago I graduated as a Doctor of Chiropractic, and as soon as I graduated I started practicing as a chiropractor. And I started to really veer towards that mind-body connection, the emotional intelligence in people. The neurology and physiology always interested me, but when I was working on people and their bodies, I was always interested in the human aspect. What made them who they were? What was stopping them from healing? Why did things change for some people and not for others? And I'm a bit of a sucker for your life story and helping you change your life, not just change your physical body or your health. And so right around then, 10 years ago, I also got introduced to something. Well, I had been introduced to Access Consciousness, but I started to really get serious with attending all the classes and getting into Access. I also specialize in several other mind-body techniques, including neuro-emotional technique, kinesiology. I have a background in counseling and youth work. And so basically I have thousands and thousands of hours of experience working with people and bodies and helping people change. And today we are going to bring all of that together, because so many times people have said that they want to change something and you want to change it up here, but you don't want to change it at a deeper subconscious level, or you know something needs to change and it's urging you, or the whispers are pulling you in a certain direction, and yet you can't see beyond what your mind knows. You can't see or feel or imagine beyond the life that you have come from or what you see around you. And so today, like all of my work and facilitation, is about bringing both of those aspects together. We are these whole beings that have infinite possibilities if we access all of those options and opportunities available to us. How do we access that? How do we actually create miracles? What are even miracles? So those are just some of the light topics I thought I would cover. But I'm also really interested in seeing what you would like to get out of today. In my experience, there are 3 areas in life that create us as who we are. There's the money and career situation, there's relationships, and there's body and health. And in one of those 3 areas, or in all those 3 areas to some degree, there's something that's not working for us, or we'd like it to be better. How do we make that better? And not just a little bit better, how do we actually get out of the confines of incremental small change and still only doing a little bit to create the life we would like to have, to actually creating giant leaps? How do you create your dream life? Do you even know what your dream life is? Do you even allow yourself to dream beyond what you have seen already? How do you go from being who you are in your life now to having a life beyond what you ever thought was possible? So Like I said, I would love to hear your questions. And if you don't have any specific questions, that's not a problem. As they come up, I will address them. So, like I said, those three main areas, body and health, money and career, and relationships, are often where we get stuck. For me, I'm a body worker, I'm a healer. The body stuff is the stuff that comes easily to me. It's the stuff that I almost wasn't even interested in. Being a healer, being someone who loves people and loves to help people, for me it was money and business. That was the area that I still have to do so much work on to get to that place that is beyond what I know is possible. So that's why you see me facilitating so much, because I've had to do the most amount of work in that area for myself. How do I completely change what I know is possible with money? How do I go from being a healer, someone who loves working with bodies, someone who just wants to help people and heal people, to actually having a really healthy relationship with money, making an abundance of money, being confident and proud and able to ask for fair exchange for my services and do that and know that I'm still helping people. So that was my journey with money. And now I work with people in many industries, people who are literally millionaires when it comes to money, and help them in their businesses and with their money mindset. So, you know, anything is possible, but if you had asked me that 10 years ago, that's not what I had ever thought I would be doing. That was never in my logical or cognitive life plan. So what is it that's not in your logical or cognitive life plan that could be possible for you if you would allow the possibilities to present themselves? Okay. And like I explained before, my background is I've done a lot of work with Access Consciousness and with lots of other modalities. So if you're completely new to this call, I'm going to tell you how I like to go through things. First of all, when you want to get to a new space that's available to you, it often is involved, what's involved in that is identifying what you first need to clear. So then you can have a new possibility, because there's often a limiting mindset or a subconscious belief that's sitting right underneath that limitation, which is why you can't see beyond that. So first of all, we identify it, we clear it, and then we step into that new space of possibility. I use a couple of tools specific to my background. So I use Access Consciousness clearing statements. I use kinesiology. In whatever way that you know how, you can either use what works for you. You might do some tapping, you might use kinesiology, you might be someone who journals, you might be someone who meditates, you might be someone who, once you see a different option, you're actually good to go there. You just had to see that possibility. Or you can just relax and allow me to do all the work for you, which is part of what I do, okay? Secondly, I will get into all of those three areas a little bit more in more detail for all of you, because I'm assuming that most of you would like to change or improve one of those three areas in your life. But I would like to go to questions now and just get an idea of, if you could get anything out of this today, what would it be for you? What is it that you wanted when we talked about creating miracles in 2020 for your life, for your business, for your body, for your family, for your health? And you're all muted, almost 50 of you. So if you, you can either there's a way to raise your hand on Zoom, or you can unmute yourself. Smriti is saying to create at a faster pace. Okay, mine is very similar to what you just said. I'd love to facilitate and heal people. I should also at the same time take care of my family. Yeah, I love those comments, because a lot of this call and what I kind of had in my mind to speak to was how to get out of your mind even more. I know a lot of you have done a lot of self-help, a lot of self-development work, a lot of healing work already, and you think you're already creating as fast as you can, or creating as much change as one possibly could, right? However, today I want to talk to you about going even faster, going even further, creating beyond the confines of what you already know. And that second concept that someone mentioned about here, it's this concept that I speak about a lot, which is the having it all. And I'm someone who, for some insane reason, that is what drives me. This insatiable belief and attitude and possibility that I can actually have it all, and it doesn't, one thing doesn't come at the expense of the other. And my life is kind of like a living experiment of that, and I don't know where that ends, and I don't know when you get to a place where no more is possible in a certain area. But I'm one of those people who's out to have it all in a way that means that I can have really good relationships, and I can have family, and I can have money, and I can be successful, and I can do it by helping people in a way that lights me up, in a way that's congruent to me, in a way that doesn't mean you have to lose your soul. And that's one of my favorite areas and spaces to facilitate into, so we can definitely lean more into that. And then the other area is, of course, I'm seeing a little bit of money and turnover and business stuff coming through. And the stuff that I wanted to kind of ask you about today on this call was that what's possible for you in your business and your money and your career if you got out of the linear, if you got out of how it's meant to be, or how everyone around you was doing it, or what your mind already knows. Okay, do we have any questions, comments, or queries?
Hi, Dilas. This is Swami here.
Hi, Swami. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for this call. Just want to acknowledge your, because of the whispering class that ended, a lot of shifts are happening. The one question that I would like to ask right now is, so even though there is a lot of information available of how to change things, there are times when I personally would not take action towards changing that. I would still ask questions. I would get awareness. The basic access questions, who does it belong to, and all other stuff. However, still what needs to be done, I at times see that I am not taking that. So I know that I can still play around with questions of whether it belongs to someone else or not, but can you just throw some light on this as to what other things that I can do, and people who are facing this can do. Yeah, thank you.
So, are you really bored?
Am I really bored?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Mommy!
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I have to do is do a lot of things. And, if I have one thing, and believe me, I relate. I spent 4 hours procrastinating on one email I had to send yesterday. It was one email, and it was great once I wrote it, and it was like not even very long. It took me 4 hours to get there, okay? So this is not unique to you. Not being able to do the things that if you just did them would be helpful. But here's the thing, here's how it relates to the bigger picture and how it relates to like actually creating miracles. So, and actually let's all do this experientially right now so that you have some context as to what I'm talking about. But whatever area it is in your life or your business or your health that you got on this call and you were like, if I could get a little bit of lightness or some shift in this one area, it would be great. Think about that area right now. And I want you to just forget about your mind, forget about what you know, forget about who you are and where you come from and the current situation you are in with that area of your life. And I want you to just allow the possibility of your imagination running wild and the greatest possible outcome for that area of your life. So if you're struggling with money right now, more money than you can imagine. If you're struggling with a chronic health issue right now, being so happy and so healed and so feeling so good in your body. If you're struggling with a relationship, if you're in a bad relationship, if you don't have a relationship, being in a relationship that lights you up, that is so honoring, is so fulfilling, makes you so happy, is so easy and fun. So go to that place, not from your mind, but from an energetic space. How you know you are there is when it feels different in your body. Okay. It's not just, oh yeah, $1 million would do it. It's like, yeah, okay. Now, that's the possibility that your body or your being or your awareness is aware of. And everything else that you're working to or trying to do is much, much less than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the time, like 90% of the time, what I see all of us do is try to settle for a quarter or 10% or 15% of the possibility that we could be working to. And we think that we have to do that because in this reality or how we've been brought up or what we think is relevant and important is having things be measurable, have things be realistic, have things be tangible. You know, there's this whole saying around having small, smart, and achievable goals. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with knowing or having checkpoints along the way. But what I see people do all the time is give up the possibility for what they think is the reality. Give up the greatest possible outcomes for what they think is realistic, what they think is achievable. And so when you try to then create your life by doing those things, and here's the thing with that, that doesn't mean that you're choosing small things based on what everyone else around you is choosing. This is the thing that trips us up, is compared to everyone else around you, you probably are already doing so much more. You already have a great life. You already have these tools from Access or some other modality that you've done. You've already paid money and put all this time and energy into self-development. You know so much more than everyone around you. So you're like, you know, like I've already ticked all of the boxes. I'm already doing everything I should be doing. Like, this is great. Why is this still not enough? And so that you've got to create and you've got to outcreate yourself. You've got to be someone who's always looking to push the boundaries to create the miracles based on your version of what's possible, based on your reality, not on your mother's, not on your father's reality, not in your friends, not in your social situation, maybe not in your whole entire country. Is there another person who is as bold and audacious as you, right?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And speaking to that, actually, Smriti mentioned about wanting to increase the pace at which she's working or be faster. And again, I'm sure many of you relate to this. Like, how do we have it more? How do we have it now? And something I really wanted to hone in on today was, how do we do this process of getting out of our mind? Because so much of this creating the miracle, so much of this work of creating your life energetically means you have to get out of your mind. You have to get out of the cognitive and logical. And so often you think you've done that or that you are doing that already, but I can almost guarantee we're all not doing it, myself included, to the greatest extent possible. So how do we increase that? And the thing that it's going to create when you get out of your mind, meaning that you are in the zone, you follow the energy, you do what you get the hit to do, it speeds things up and it makes your life really fast. And what happens when things start to get fast and faster and then too fast is we lose our sense of control. Now, most people that I know and that I work with, myself included, again, is we're control freaks. And we like to be in control, and also many of us are head trippers, meaning we like to know what our options are, we like to know where we're going and how we're going to get there and what the steps are and how long it's going to take and how long we need to spend at each checkpoint, and we compare that journey also to the reality around us and to what we see around us, and that's how we figure out where we are in life and where we should be going or want to be going and how long it's going to take to get there and how we're going to get there. Now, if you want to get really, really fast, if you let all of that go, if you actually get out of your head and follow the energy, it's going to be freaking fast. This whole concept of asking and receiving from the universe, this whole concept of actualizing and manifesting, or whatever you want to call it, this whole concept of being energetically congruent means that you can have results occur so quickly if you get out of your own way. Because when your mind doesn't believe something is possible, it cannot be created. So you have to learn to get out of your own way. And how you learn to get out of your own way is, first of all, you know that exercise we just did with the feeling in your body? Your body is this giant compass that tells you what direction you're moving in. Are you moving in a way that is aligned with where you want to go, in a way that lights you up, that takes you into possibility? Or if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're not moving fast enough, my question for you is, where are you right now slowing yourself down? Where are you right now conforming to what you think you know about how it should be, or how it needs to be, or how it has to be, or how everyone else does it? And then you need to get out of your own way. And so the first part of changing anything is often recognizing it. For those of us who are head trippers, it's really hard to change something without acknowledging it first, or seeing, having an awareness of it changing somewhere. And the first step to that is acknowledging that. You know when you realize something and you're like, oh, that's why it's that way. Now I can change it. But until you acknowledge it, you're going to go round in circles wondering why you can't go faster. And again, you've got to stop looking outside of you for that reference point as to how fast you're going. Because I know Smriti, and she goes really fast already. So if she looks outside herself to see how she can go faster, there's no one out there to show her how to go faster, because no one else is going any faster than her. And so if she tries to look at this, she tries to look outside her for herself for the evidence and the supporting evidence and the information as to how to go faster, it's not going to work. But if she asks herself, or if she uses her body as that compass as to, am I going as fast as I can, or can I go faster? If I was going faster, what would that look like? If I were to actually let go of that control that I feel like I need to have safety, how can I do that even more? Oh my God, I feel like I'm going to die. Okay, great. Let's go, But you've got to acknowledge that. You've got to acknowledge how much you've been holding on, and how small we've been playing, or how limited we've been being, or where we have been limiting ourselves, so that you can change it then. Whether it's you being bored, or you being slow, or you trying to convince yourself that something is good enough, or that you like your job, or you like your career, or you like your relationship, or you don't want to change an area of your life that actually isn't enough for you. And that's why it's causing problems, whether it's in that immediate area, or what I see all the time is it then creating a problem in another area of your life, often your body. Your body is just this giant information receiver and giver and compass, as I said, as well as this completely cool conscious thing that, you know, we ignore and think that we have to fix and be in control of, when really it's always feeding back to us. If you want to know how your life's going, how happy you are, how much you're creating to the possibilities available to you, tap into your body and see how it's feeling and what's working and what isn't working, and use that feedback mechanism, because it's going to show you exactly how much your life is currently working for you and where you are not creating all of the miracles that you could be creating.
Thank you so much.
You're
That opened up so much. Yeah, thank you.
So, any other questions for the moment, or I'll talk about something else? Another thing that, so our body, speaking about our body, it has the ability to really contribute to you, and you also have the ability to work with your body, with your neurology, with your physiology, to create the life that you would like to create. So many people still, even though there's so much great stuff coming out now, and it's becoming more and more known about how the mind and the body don't work separately from each other, or you don't create your physical life any different to how you create your energetic life or your vision of what's possible. But what we do is we lose sight of the vision of what's possible, and we get locked down into this creating the physical experience, and in getting locked down in the physical and using only what you see on the outside as your reference point, you're losing the magic. The space where the magic happens and the miracles get created is you've got to be the person who's driving yourself forward. You are creating your life, and it's really easy to forget that if you let the noise on the outside become greater than what you know is possible from the inside. So how you stay aligned, I'm going to use that word, to what you know is possible, is you've got to use your ability to visualize and create and have that vision, whether it's like a physical vision or not. You don't have to actually see what I'm talking about. It might just be a knowing. It might just be an energy. It might just be a whisper. Okay, this whole thing that I do, the whole whispers thing, was created through a whisper. And when I talk about creating your life through whispers and with whispers, this call was a whisper. There's nothing else, and there's no reason, and I don't know what it's going to create apart from the fact that it's cool to be online with all you people from all over the world and get to connect with you. But literally about 2 weeks ago, or whenever this call got created, there was this whisper to create a call about miracles. And then the date that literally pops into my head is like the 20th of January. Oh yes, because it was about to be 2020, and it was like 2020. And I was like, I don't know what day that is. I don't know if that's going to be convenient. I don't know if that's going to work. But I looked at the calendar. I was like, yes, I can do a Monday. Yes, I can do this time. Yes, we'll put it out there and we'll see what it creates. And this is what it's created. There's, I think, about 250 people that registered for this call at this point. And I don't know what it's going to create, but there is something where if we follow the energy that's available and the whispers that are available, and we put it together with the practical action, my friends, we can't forget the practical action. We can't forget doing the things that are required physically in this reality to create money, to create a business, to create health, to create our bodies, to foster relationships, to nurture things so that they grow and create. But we often do the opposite. We often look to how do we do the least so that we're not going, we're not upsetting everything around us. We think it's rude or unacceptable to be the leading force of our own life. It's not. But it's so much more acceptable to have the world dictate to you what your life should be and how you should live it. But if you're on this call, then maybe it's time for you to start creating your life as the miracle and with all of the miracles that are possible for you and only for you, and only you know what that is. But how you do that is you sit down and you spend some time with yourself, and you get out of the noise and you get out of whatever environment is hurting you or screwing you up or playing with your mind. And there are more and more environments available to us now. There are many of you that I don't know, but here I am talking to you online from the other side of the world. There is so much content available now on social media, on YouTube. Find those groups, find those individuals, find that content, find a coach, find a healer that you resonate with, that can contribute to you, that can lead you towards more possibility in your life rather than less, that encourages you to ask for more and to receive more, and to be at that edge of creation rather than to settle for less. Go out in nature. You know, at the very least, the thing that is available to all of us is to go outside and to commune with the environment, to commune with the land, and to ask for contribution, and to find a quiet spot to sit down in, and to ask to receive the information as to what else is possible for your life, so that you can then start moving in that direction. And don't stop until it's a full body experience. Don't stop until you're like, whoa, you know, my body feels different. My mind is coming up with stuff I never would have thought of. I don't know why I think it's possible. You know, I don't know why it's possible for a girl from New Zealand, you know, 10 years ago to start doing this work that leads to facilitating people from all over the world. But it's possible because it's possible for me, so it's possible for you. And so much more is possible for all of us. And we've got to lean more into that. And so when you do that, when you sit down and you find that time for yourself, whether you call it meditation or you journal or you spend time in nature or you go swimming and you don't think about anything, or you go for a run or a walk, use that vision, and use that vision to propel you forward and to drive you forward in your life. And keep reverting back to that vision. Don't let the voices on the outside become more valuable to you than what you know is on the inside, than the miracles that are available to you. And then you use your body to create. You use speed to create. You know, you want the number one tip I can give you from this particular call is don't give yourself time to think. Do not give yourself time to think. You will think yourself out of it most of the time. Or if you got, you know, a great possibility, you will downgrade yourself to 50% of that possibility if you allow yourself time to think about it, analyze it, and then act on it. You want to increase the pace of your life and the pace of the miracles and the pace of asking and receiving. Don't give yourself time to think. So as soon as I got, you know, the whisper to do this call, and I looked at the date, and I sent off an email to someone who could create the graphic and someone else who could, and Jody, my assistant, to help me. And here we are today. And that's how I've created my classes and my business. And it's good if you're scared. It's good if you're nervous. It's good if you're not ready. If you wait till you're ready, it's never going to come. If you wait for someone else to give you permission, they're not going to give you permission. You know, how many of you are waiting for permission from someone to create a life that is greater? If you need permission, or if you're waiting for permission, or if you've been hoping for permission, I'm going to give you that permission today.
Woo!
Whoever it is, whoever it is that needs permission, and whoever it is that you've been waiting for that permission from, pretend I am them, and I'm giving you the permission, okay?
You are a godsend, Adila.
Do we have, is there a question? Someone's unmuted.
Adila, it's Pramod. Can I ask a question?
Pramod, hello, where are you?
Can you see me?
I can see you. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year. So, I don't know if this question was answered. I was attending something else. So if it's a repeat, do let me know. Where exactly do you identify that it's the mind that's coming in the way and not true awareness? I've been asking for the body to give me that awareness, and it seems like it's going further.
You're right there, as always. Yeah, I did talk about this, but I'll go over it again for you. And I basically said, ask, like, when you sit down, find yourself that quiet space and go to that area in your life that you would like to change, or that you want to see what else is possible, and allow your body to show you, because your body changes how it feels when you hit the jackpot. Like it's a different physiology that almost gets unlocked, because we're wired into this physiological experience that we're having. Okay, so we're these beings, these energetic beings who science can't explain us, but we have this body and we have this physiology and neurology that, for the sake of convenience, creates habit and creates what we know. And a large part of that is creating safety, emotional safety, physical safety, physiological safety. And that safety is great, but for many of us, it's also really boring, or it's also very limited. And there's somewhere, whether it's cognitive or non-cognitive, where we recognize that. And when you hit on something, when you touch on something that is beyond that limitation, that is beyond what the mind can perceive, but your being can perceive it and is aware of that possibility, it lights you up in a different way. I don't know what that feeling may be for you, but for me, it just feels like excitement, or it just makes me be like, oh, I really want to do that. And then if I give myself too much time, I'll settle for less, right? And that's why you have to act and go to that vision and create to that possibility, even if it wasn't a complete vision. Like even if you didn't have all the information, you've got to create in the direction of that feeling of excitement. Let your body override you, but not the physiology that's become a habit. That new information, when new information is presented to you and it's unfamiliar, and you're like, I don't know what this is, but it's exciting, you've got to go to that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it feels like what's inside of me is out there speaking back to me.
Yes.
So explicit. The only difference I got was, for you, it was excitement. And when you said that, what I got was that which seems impossible to achieve is probably what I want to go get. That was what I got.
And that's for me too.
Okay.
That's for me too. And for many of us, the thing is, have you heard that saying that you can't actually, if something isn't possible for you, you can't actually be aware of it?
Oh, damn, no. That's brilliant. And that's so cool. That really is cool.
Come on, guys. Yes, you have. This is, you know, like the whole, if you don't have something inside of you, you can't see it in others. If you're not aware of something, you can't know about it.
Well, I think this one's nicer, more sophisticated, makes me feel better myself.
Okay, so you're not going, the universe isn't so cruel to give you an awareness of something that you're not capable of doing. It's not going to make you feel excited or want to do something. Like, for example, if you don't want to do it, if it's not congruent for you, it's not going to light you up. Like, I have no desire to be an astronaut, right? So I don't, like, space travel doesn't excite me. So that's not something that I want to do. So I never have to, like, worry about, you know, it's really hard to do that, but because I like achieving what's impossible, I really want to go into space. Like, I have no interest in that. But there are many other things that should be impossible for me, but I'm going to do them. And if that's what it is for you, this feeling of I shouldn't be able to do this because everyone else around me says I shouldn't, or no one else has done it before. And that's another question. How much are you all not doing what is possible for you because you haven't seen somebody else do it yet? Someone else hasn't told you or shown you that it's possible, so you're giving up your awareness of it, your ability to create it in the world. Imagine if Elon Musk did that. Imagine if all of the people that invented the things that we are so reliant on today, that did not exist before, imagine if that's what stopped them. So go to that feeling of, gosh, this practically feels impossible, but I've got this idea. And if it is congruent with you, and for those of you, I've talked about congruence a lot, so much, but for those of you that haven't heard me speak about congruence before, I never encourage, like, nothing I do or facilitate or teach is around doing anything that is incongruent for you. So when I'm talking about creating a life and creating miracles and changing your life and doing whatever it is that you want, I'm not asking you to do things that you don't want to do, that don't feel good for you, that are not congruent for you, that are not authentic expressions of your life and living, okay? You've got to find what's congruent for you. And how do you find what is congruent for you? It's the same process. You're going to feel it in your body. You might feel a bit nervous and excited, but it's not going to feel wrong. It's not going to feel heavy. It's going to feel exciting. It's going to feel like something you want to do. Don't force yourself to do something that's not congruent to you ever. It doesn't create. It won't create a result. It'll just take away from creating stuff that actually contributes to your life or your business. So even if, you know, say, for example, say you really want to create a lot of money and you get an opportunity to create money in a way that you would hate doing, in a way that feels like you would hate getting out of bed every day, don't do that. But if you know that you want to create a lot of money and another opportunity or another possibility makes itself known to you, and it's a scarier option, it's a riskier option, but it makes you excited, it lights you up, it feels good in your body, go for that option. That is congruence.
That was brilliant, as usual. Thanks, Adila.
You're welcome. Nice to see you. Okay.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Hey, Alexandra, I don't know if we have any questions from the French Zoom.
Yeah, I told them that if they had any question, they should write it in the Zoom. So I will ask them in French to ask question in French in your Zoom or in my Zoom, and so go on talking, and I don't know if there will be any questions. So I'll let you know on the conversation. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, so the point of today's call was to help open whatever door, physically or energetically, for you that you may have been asking for or looking for or require, and might not even know that you need or require. You know, I literally have clients where sometimes I'm the only person that they talk to that speaks to them about what they're capable of, as opposed to the rest of the world feeding back to them what they're not capable of. And so the reason I share that with you is, no matter who you are and what your background is, and however hard life may be for you right now, or however impossible the situation you are in may seem for you right now, there is possibility and the ability to create change available to you, even if, like I said before, this is the only place, or there's only one person in the world who will speak positively to you, or your whole family is abusive, or thinks you're an idiot, or that you're not capable of doing anything great, and has given you a completely false sense of who you are and made you feel wrong and judged your whole life. Or you have a chronic illness and you have had doctors and medical experts and countless people reaffirm to you how sick you are and how incapable your body is of healing. All I want to do is present you with the option and the possibility that that isn't actually what is true for you, and that there is so much more available to you and for you. And if this Zoom is all that's required for you to actually be willing to ask a question, and once you ask that question, like I said earlier, then the universe can respond. Then you might go onto Facebook and find another person, or you might go onto YouTube and watch any of my multiple videos, or another facilitator's videos, or attend a class, or start finding more evidence that actually there is another option available to you. And just because we have come from backgrounds that have limited us and lied to us and made us not believe in the greatness of all the possibilities available to us, that's not a good enough reason to stop now. And there was just something so exciting about 2020 and the fact that this is a new decade and there is so much change happening in the world right now. But as uncertain as that world may seem at times, you're still the person that's creating your life. And what I'd like you to create more so is your reality, and create the options and the possibilities for your life, for your business, for your body that are available to you, not what you have been told or taught or given and told that that is what is available to you. So, if we don't have any questions from the French side, and do we have any more questions on this side?
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Who's speaking? Sorry.
It's Manisha from India.
Manisha. I can't see you. Keep talking and I will find you.
Okay, so my question was that I started a business which is not from the excess. It's a real estate one. I am continuously meeting the people and it's fraud. Like continuous frauds are happening and a lot of hard work and struggle is there and nothing is paying me off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like very, very heartbreaking, I guess. A lot of hard work is done and I am not even having a proper place to start work from. I'm working from home and things are not working good. A lot of fraud is there. cheating is there. All the deals, they seem that it's gonna happen and it's not happening then.
So, I'm sorry, I just haven't been able to find your little square still. Oh, Manisha, I just found you. Marwaha?
Yeah.
There we are. Okay, there we are. Okay, so the thing is, that's always going to exist, especially in that industry, especially in that country. Yeah. But what is possible that you know for you, if you have chosen that industry and that you're going to work in that industry, you can't, again, I know it sucks, like I know how hard that situation is, but we cannot allow that environment to dictate to us how we what is then going to be the rest of your career. Okay, if you know that you're going to keep doing real estate in India, you've got to create real estate on your terms. And you might think that, like, how do you begin to do that? How do you begin to change? But you've got to create, in fact, I have a podcast episode that I will send to you. And it's an interview with the #1 female real estate agent in Las Vegas. And I interviewed her on my podcast, and she creates her business from this energetic space. No access, nothing else. She's just someone who has realized that she can't let a male-dominated, pretty sleazy, pretty fast-paced industry dictate to her what's possible. And she has a phenomenal success story. Now, that success story is available to you too. If you don't buy into the story, tell the story and repeat the story. Okay? So sit down tomorrow or today. It's probably the daytime in India. Sit down today, find that quiet space that I talked about, and ask yourself what you know is possible for you and for your career, and for you being immensely successful, and for you out creating all of these situations. And then hold that vision every day when you go to work and do what you have to do to make that vision your reality.
Wow, I would. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
And ask, I am
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Adila, I wonder if that interview we did with Gary early last year is also something that she might want to listen to, because he comes from a different space too and he's been successful.
Yeah. Where did we do that? Was that in a mastermind?
Yes, it was in the mastermind, and it was either December or January of 18 or 19.
My husband's in the real estate industry too, and I work with a lot of real estate agents. I work with a lot of mortgage brokers. I work with a lot of people in the property industry. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can still create from a different place, and it will still be very successful for you. Okay, but you have got to believe that you are going to go in and you're going to create the disruption, that the disruption on the outside isn't going to shake you and throw you off balance and dictate your life. Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You might want to talk to Smriti too.
Yeah, I was just saying that. I love that. So you have so much possibility available to you. So Smriti, reach out to Smriti Shivdasani. She did real estate for 20 years. She will tell you a thing or two, I'm sure. I'll send out that podcast interview when we send out the replay to this call, and I'll see if I can find the content from my husband as well, because I got him to come in from a completely non-access point of view to talk to my mastermind group about how he creates really successfully. And he basically just decides what his worldview is and what he's going to achieve in life and in real estate. And he goes out there and he makes everyone else do what he wants to do. So what else is possible, and how can we all have that in our own areas of life and living? Yeah. Okay. Cool. In closing, any other comments, guys? I'm going to start wrapping this up. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for allowing yourself this 50-minute call to reboot what you know is possible, to get you back into feeling hopefully excited about life, feeling enthusiastic, feeling inspired. There's a lot of places where I hope you can find some more resources to help you keep going if you found this helpful. A lot of you I know have found the Monetize Your Business group on Facebook. That's a free group. We do money making challenges in there twice a year. I'm also doing a monthly free Q&A in there. So if you're not already in there, search up that group. Like I said, there is so much content on YouTube, on my channel. Again, just search my name, and my podcast, which we are relaunching for 2020 shortly, the Business Whisperer podcast. There's already so many episodes available on Apple and Spotify. Search up the podcast. We'll send you links to everything. Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to you guys for joining.
Thank you.
How does it get better?
When are you coming to India, Adila?
August I'm coming. Oh yeah, August I'm coming to India. April I'm going to Singapore. And we have advanced classes coming at the end of the year, somewhere in Southeast Asia. So I'm going to be doing two things. On the 27th of this month, I will do the monthly free Q&A in the Monetize Your Business group. So if you're not in that group, join and send in your questions. And then at the end of this month also, I'll do another call to announce the class schedule for the year, the advanced classes coming, the certified practitioner and facilitator programs being rolled out, and baby whispering coming to Mumbai as well. So we are going to be busy. You're going to be busy too, because we're all creating miracles. How does it get better? Thank you so much for your time, and have a really miraculous year, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was so cool. Thanks, Adila.
Au revoir.
Thank
Thank you for joining.
Bye.
And thanks, Alexandra. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Adila.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adila. Thank you so much.
Thank you.